So welcome back to Wheels and Toys in the Porsche 718 Spyder. Today is the first episode in the upcoming mods of the car. And the first one we're going to do is actually installing these open air filters from BMC. BMC is the same company that are supplying these for the GT3 RSs, especially, or at least from the 991 era. So they should hopefully give this car a little bit more intake sound or intake noise. But why is that so important? So the 718 Spyder and the 718 GT4 and the GTSs have a little bit more intake noise than the 981 GT4s, which of course had an exhaust that sounded amazing. So as you sit, of course, with your ears just around here, and you have the intake from coming in here, there's so much more of that mechanical sound from the engine going through these air filters and into the cabin, which is great because you are not sort of annoying all your neighbors with a super loud exhaust. Instead, it's a little bit more for the drivers, and hopefully it should also make the car breathe a little bit better. And from having learned from the 718, sort of the GT4 RSs that has their air intake just around here, that gives that amazing sound, and that's what most journalists have actually talked about for that car. So we weren't gonna reach to there, but hopefully give us a little bit more of a groutier sound of the car. But to be able to mount these, we need to pop the hood and start digging, and we won't do that here on the parking lot in the sun. So we're gonna move the car into the garage, and I'll see you there. It's time to install this kit. I'm not gonna bother you through the whole process, so I'm gonna highlight a couple of things. And this is of course the start. So in this kit from BMC, you get two of these air filters. They're come packaged like separate. There's the filters, there's these glue-on gaskets, which I guess is going to go on top of these ones to seal it once we mount it. We'll see how the OEM stuff looks, so let's see in which way, but I guess they're gonna go like that. So two of those. You also get some stickers to tell people, depending on the look you want, and also a little sticker saying that this vehicle is equipped with lifetime air filters. So trying to tell your mechanic not to throw them away, because you can actually clean these ones instead of throwing them away and getting new ones. You also get two pieces of paper. The first one is actually a certificate of the guarantee of these filters. And you should always get this certificate if you are buying these filters. That will tell you that they are in fact real BMC filters. And it also tells you how to maintain them with a little guide here in Italian only. No, there's actually the back side of this is actually in English, so we're gonna have a look through that later. So these filters are going in behind this actual sort of piece of carpet here. So I guess if you have a Boxster, you need to fold the roof up and do all that maintenance. If you have a Cayman, it goes from the rear trunk. But I actually think having a Spyder is kind of like a win. It actually seems very easy to get this whole thing removed. So we're gonna start by removing these pieces of plastic, which is, I think, yeah, it's just like that. I'm gonna do the same on that side, and then we're gonna start peeling it away from the wettest strip, or actually we're gonna leave the strip and just remove the carpet around here, and that's gonna expose the rest of it. But I'm not gonna bother you, but I'm gonna time this. So let's actually check what time it is right now. So it's 12 to 8 in the evening. So let's time this and see how much time it actually takes. But yeah, I'll come back to you once we have everything dismounted and it's time to mount the filters. See you. So I have now sort of, it was super easy. This is like 3 minutes in. I removed the two plastic covers and I then folded down the carpet. It was just to peel it off. I didn't think I wanted to take it all out because there's some mounting stuff in here as well. just folding it down, but be careful so you do not sort of break it, which I think you can actually get some nasty things here. One thing you want to do immediately is actually disconnect this light bulb. It sits in here, it's going to annoy your eyes and you won't be able to turn it off. And I thought that Porsche did only use LEDs. This was not. It was a classic bulb. It was super hot, burned my fingers, not nice, do not do that. So now we are actually in the part where we are to remove the stock filters. The first filter sits just here, so you can see it here. It's this one, this little piece here. It's like a lid, and under there we have the air filters. So the same goes, of course, for the other side. The air filter is underneath here. So we do have the ECU, which is super hot, I think, from all the electricity running in the car potentially. So behind that ECU, we also have some hoses that we most likely do need to disconnect, but I will get back to you once we're there. Let's start with this air filter on the left and see how we actually mount the new one. So this is potentially becoming quite a quick job. There's not many mounting points, so you can actually see there's 3 torques that you can see visible on the lid. You have 2 of them down here, each one on each side. They actually hold the filter in place onto this lid, so do not remove those. There's one mounting point up here, and that's a Torx T25, and quite short one. So you disconnect that one, and once you've done that, you have 2 handles, one down here and one up here. They're little round ones. So how this works is you press them together, that releases the lid and the filter, and you give it a good pull, and then it comes out like this, and oh, it's really nasty. So have a look at this filter. This is from a car that's only done 10,000 kilometers, not even that, like 900 or 9,000 kilometers, and it's really dirty. I mean, super dirty. This is fine though. I mean, it's a paper filter. It should look like this, but it's still super dirty. Of course, it's very clean in the inside. So how these work is the air comes through the filter from the air intake on the left side into here in the air box, through that, out in this hole, and it connects into the engine. So here on this side, of course, everything is super clean. You should keep it clean, while the filter here is really dirty. But until we dismounted the other one, we're just gonna actually put it back in here, so we do not get any dirt into the engine. But now that's or disconnected. So let's now go into the right side and disconnect the ECU and get that filter out as well. So we're back on the other side, and as I saw before, the ECU, which is now here, was mounted. So first and foremost, you need to, on the Spyder, I guess it might be similar on the Boxster, I do not think I've seen this on the Caymans, you actually have like a little bit of a plastic piece up here that you first need to remove to unveil the 2 screws here on the top. Then there's one down here, and there's one actually hidden underneath in the corner of the ECU. These 2 down here are, all of them are number 10 in size, so it's very convenient. It's a little bit tricky to get this one down in the corner, but once you've done it, it's fairly easy to remove the ECU. I did not disconnect it. I do not want to get any faults, so I just folded it nice and easy down here. You can now see the second filter, or the lid of it, and you see that there's actually a big line going across that we need to disconnect. That's actually the oil filler line to this compartment here, which you can access otherwise. So we need to disconnect that, and I prepared 2 pieces of paper to squeeze in there so we do not get any oil spill if your car recently had its oil refilled, which this actually had last just a couple of kilometers ago and last week. So we actually only squeeze it like this, I think. Let's see, I can do it in a good way. So just squeeze it and it disconnects. So we're gonna push up some paper there, and we're gonna do the same on this side like that, and then we're just gonna put that aside. So now we with those loose, we can actually disconnect the same. It's the same here, one Torx 25, and then that filter should also come out. And I'm gonna do that, and I'll meet you back when we mount the new filters on these lids. So I was thinking I'd bring you along when we replace one of these filters. They're gonna be the same. So what we have, this old nasty filter here. It's the same, so it's Torx 25. You remember those two screws that I told you do not remove? Now it's time to remove them. So there's one on each side. Sorry for the rasping sound. Let's see if we can get it out. This should be a fairly easy, and it reuses the OEM mounting points. So there's one screw, let's not lose that one, and there's a second one on this side. Actually, I think we need something a bit longer. So here we go, a little bit longer screwdriver with an extension, because there's a little bit further in here. Get that screw out as well. So remember this, you need a little bit of a longer one. You can't have that short one only. It's good for the rest of them. So there we go. Screws go in here. And you now also have this gasket. Okay, so now I understand. So this one, if you look at these filter, it's kind of hard to say. This one is hard plastic. Let's see if it actually captures it. Hard plastic, right? This one, the orange part here, is actually foam. So that's rubber, hard rubber foam. So now I understand why you get this part. So that part goes on here to make sure that it's soft and squishy, so it can actually go on this part here. But I see that it's a little bit dirty, so let's bring out a microfiber towel. Just gently wipe that off. There we go. There's a little bit of a lubrication here for the actual seal, which is this green one, so don't overdo it. You still want to keep that lubrication. So that's the old filter. We're still just gonna put that in the box later on, and here's where we are to mount it. So okay, so let's start with actually putting this little seal on. Let's see if we can do this with gloves on, but okay, so with that off, see if we can do this without hurting it, or damaging it. It goes on like that, I guess. Nice and tidy. Let's push it in, make sure it sits nice and flush like that, that the glue really sticks to the surface. Remember, we do not want to get any foreign particles in here, because that will mean that they do get into the engine, which might ruin your car. So there we go, got that one. It just sticks. Oh, so there's only one way mounted. There's like a little pig here, and this is a flat one, so it goes on like that, and then just put the screws back in place. Actually, I think it might be easier to do it like this. Okay, I need to bring one with a magnet on. So we now got the final air filter mounted on the bracket, which I before called a lid, but I guess it's a little bit too big to be that. And here we have the original filthy one from the other side, of course. And as you can see, they're the same size, they're the same width and everything. If you get the KN filters, I actually think they're a little bit smaller. But these are the BMCs, and they are pretty much exactly the same size. You can see though that there's much tighter in between these flanges than you have on the open ones, and these ones are super dirty. So I think when you have these open ones, you need to remove them and make sure that they are clean a little bit more often than you do with these paper ones. The paper ones are super safe, but they do also restrict the airflow a little bit. You should also inspect the gaskets when you do this. So this gasket was actually not mounted correctly by Porsche. I think it was a little bit hanging out, so I'm going to fix that once we remount it on the car. But I'm now gonna do the second one, and then I'm gonna mount all of these, or all of them, both of them back into the car. Everything goes back reverse from how we dismounted it, and I'm gonna get back to you once that is done, and we'll see how much time this actually took. As you can see, everything is now back to stock. It was a little bit fiddly to get the carpet to sit nice again. I mean, when you bend it, it sort of takes shape, but I guess it'll actually be nice and tight again once it becomes warm from the engine and then have to sit. But overall, let's check. So we're in 1 hour and 10 minutes. And during this time, I have tried to figure out how to do it, running around, changing the camera, and actually talking to you guys while not working, and had also to run and get a second battery. So if we say that it takes you an hour, that's fair, and I think that's a fair amount of time to do this mod. And hopefully for you guys, it's gonna take a little bit less time, because you do not need to now figure out that, oh, I need a longer screwdriver, or it's a Torx 10 or a Torx 25 and not a 20, and so on. This mod does not only apply to the 718 Spyder, it also applies to any 981 or 718 models, at least the 6-cylinder engines. It might be different for the 4-cylinders. I will not promise anything, but I think they also do have 2 air filters, because that was a complaint from the first generation Boxster, the 986, was that you only had 1 air filter on the left side. So if you were on the right hand side, sort of if you were in the UK, you didn't get as much of an induction noise. Now we have filters on both sides. Everything is set up and running. I haven't started the car yet. I thought you guys would come along with that. But first and foremost, I'm gonna clean up everything from the operation. And I see you in a couple of seconds. So we now have the air filters installed. This is going to be the first startup. Let's hear if we can even hear a difference. I guess it's not gonna be that huge improvement because the exhaust is gonna take over, but yeah, let's see, and then let's take it for a short drive and see what the first impressions are. I don't know if you could tell, but there's an actual big difference. You hear so much more of the mechanics of the car. Otherwise, it's very muffled. Wonder if this is the actual problem with these cars. I don't know. Let's try to do this as a test drive. I'll grab the camera, we'll go for a short drive, and yeah, hopefully you might hear some difference, but especially I will get to hopefully tell you that it was a good mod. We'll see soon. So let's see if we can capture this. The car is warmed up. I haven't pushed it full yet. So let's first try this external mic, and then let's try this small one. But okay, so let's push it and see. Second gear from 3000 RPM. Yeah. There's a difference. There's a massive difference. I don't know if you can catch this, but oh, actually, I'm getting goosebumps. It sounds so much more raw. Again. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see? My hair is standing up a lot. I'm like god, yes! I don't even know if there's a need for an exhaust. Oh, yeah. So much better. So, the only thing this car is running right now, let's actually calm down a little bit. So the only thing this car is running right now is, of course, the new air filters, but also it's running the exhaust flap controller from car graphic. But I mean, the change in sound is, it's massive. Okay, but I'm still gonna do the exhaust, of course, but this changed the game. This changed the game. This is a complete different experience of the sound of these cars. If you have one of these, make this mod. It's, I think it's roughly 200, 250 bucks. And it's such a big difference. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, okay, I'm gonna quit filming now and go through some gears. But I meet you back at the house. So I'm not sure if the microphones were able to pick that change up, but it's a massive change, especially from the driver's seat. I guess you do not hear as much from the outside, but where you sit, that's such an, I don't know, like it really gets to you, the change in the sound, and that's all due to that intake change. I would even say that's a better change in sound than I got from the car graphic exhaust, and it disturbs the neighbor a little bit less. But I mean, for 200 bucks, it's a given upgrade. And I do apologize for all the wind buffeting and such in that short driver impression clip, but I just had to run it with the windows down to get maximum sound into the cabin, and the microphones can't really sort of take that away. I don't know, I'm a little bit lost for words. It's such a big change, and I'm so happy I did it. Yeah, I just want to go out and drive the car even more now. But we're still gonna do the exhaust. That's gonna come up. We have to wait for a slot when they can all be mounted and the tune to be done. But until I'll see you next time, have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.